Okay, welcome to the Happy Valley Digital session. Just had a brief chat with Tom off camera. He is at a school that uses Happy Valley. John Podeswa, who's joined us, I also know uses Happy Valley because he's in the same organization as me. At this point, I was hoping there was going to be thousands of people here and we could get some feedback on what people are doing with Happy Valley. And specifically, when you're teaching Happy Valley in your classes, are you using the YouTube channel? Anybody?
I don't believe so. I think they use the DVDs. I think
DVDs. They're one of the three people that are still buying DVDs.
Yeah, I think it is still DVDs. I could be wrong, but I like I said, I don't personally teach those classes that use that, but I'm kind of here on their behalf. Right.
Okay. And John, do you use the Happy Valley YouTube channel?
Yeah, I do, but only recently the advertising has been popping up before.
Oh, has it? I thought we switched it off.
Well, the thing is that now YouTube is putting advertising on non-monetized channels just so they get money. So I'll get like one. Usually it's something that's learning related. So it's the
I don't like the advertising on YouTube, and specifically if you're using it in the classroom, it's not good. But also for if kids are doing it at home, I mean, I guess that users are used to it, but I don't like the idea of advertising. What about Happy Valley Words? Does anybody use Happy Valley Words? So you can't see that. Oh no. The app.
Not much, just a little. I'd had problems with it on my phone before, but it seems to be working now.
Yes. Obviously, one of the things with apps is you need to keep updating them. We haven't been great at that. And I was hoping to show the app, but I don't know. It seems like I can no longer. There we go. Adam, can you run through the app and see how quickly you can break it? Because it often crashes on iPhones. So
I did try this like probably a couple of years ago, and there were a couple issues with it, but yeah.
Oh, they've got worse, I'm sure. You used to be able to, I used to be able to share my iPad via Airlink or something into Zoom, but I can't see that option at the moment. Oh, yes, I can. Yes, I can. Let me try that.
Are you on the Google Play as well?
No, we're only on
Apple
App Store. Yeah.
You can actually use. I used for my presentation. I used an app emulator and played it on my computer.
Right.
But I think that's only for Android.
Yeah. Right. It could well be. This is. I'm having lots of problems here. This is not going to work. Top screen mirror. Okay, it's not going to work. I'm going to try and take my background off and see if I can hold it up to the screen. Right, you can see it's Halloween in here. This is the Happy Valley app. Tom, I don't know if you've seen this.
No, I haven't.
It's a very, very simple whack-a-mole game. It teaches the vocab from Happy Valley, and it uses SRS, which is spaced repetition system, which Adam also uses in his games, and you should check out the Gamerized dictionary because it's really good. But basically what it does is it feeds, SRS feeds to you words that you don't know so well yet, basically in a nutshell, and puts to the back ones that you do. This is really quite difficult to do. We get some practice. and then we play the game. Yeah, I got 3 stars. So what that does there is that then recycles things that I don't know so well and introduces new vocab. And that's just a very brief illustration of that, because I'm going to talk about games being put into the digital version of Happy Valley in a moment. So I'm just going to get right on with it. Does anybody know Reid Hoffman? Reid Hoffman is one of the PayPal mafia. He's exactly the same age as me to the month. I think he's possibly, I don't know, 2 weeks older than me. He's worth $2 or $3 billion. He's one of the PayPal mafia, and he started LinkedIn. He does a good podcast called Masters of Scale, where he talks about scaling businesses, which is well worth a listen if you get the opportunity. And one of the things that he often says is this: if you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late. The Silicon Valley ethos obviously being release fast, early, often.
That makes me feel good.
Yeah, well, this presentation is going to make you feel a lot better because we are in the really, really, really early stages of putting together Happy Valley Digital. We have content, but we don't have an app or a way to deliver at the moment. Very brief introduction to me for those of you that don't know me. My name's Simon Moran. I own a company called Emmy Learning, which has modern English schools. Happy Valley is our preschool brand, Fun Animals for Phonics, the double deckers, our really underused mod band for adults. Bokoko is a digital library I'll be talking about in my next presentation. Live schedule for school management. The Emmy Learning Cloud is a repository for learning materials, and Phrase, which is our really, really, really early start on AI for English language learning. So those are some of the things that we do. And now I want to talk about Happy Valley Digital. We have, as I think you've all seen, videos, audio, and the game that I've just demonstrated. But at the moment, this isn't put together in a way that a teacher can use other than following the playlist on YouTube. So what we want to do with Happy Valley Digital is to put it in the browser in a way that teachers can use it via an LMS, playlists, and other things to allow them to teach a lesson in one way that's prescribed, but then also allow them flexibility to do what they want with the materials, and also provide at-home study for the kids via the videos and the songs and the chants, and also a version of the game that I just showed you. So what I'm going to do today is run through Happy Valley 2, Unit 1, Lesson 1, as it is on the lesson plans that exist on the website at the moment. How many of you use the lesson plans as they are?
Yeah, I pretty closely follow them.
Right. Tom, do you know about your school?
I think, yeah, they are based pretty closely on those, yeah.
Right. And is that Christina at the bottom there, who's not named? You don't have to speak if you don't want to. It's completely fine. So yeah, those are on the happyvalley.tv website, and I think that they're a great skeleton lesson plan that you can adapt as you like. So basically, what I've done here is put together the materials that we just made. We've just made, I think, 106 new videos, which we'll be using for these lesson plans and in the classes. And we're going to follow. We're going to follow Unit 1, which I'm sure you remember is all about these vehicles. So what we've done in level one, previous to this, is we haven't introduced a structure that goes subject, verb, adjective, noun, and this is where we first introduced that structure. And we start off, as always, with hi, hello. And I should be sharing my audio. Let me know if you can hear this okay, and I might need to reshare the audio. Oops.
Yeah. Okay. Oh.
Hi, hello. Hello, hello. Hi, hello. Hello, hello. Hi, hello. Hi, hello. Hi, hello. Hi, hello. Hello. Hi, hello. Hello, hello. Hi, hello. Hello, hello. Hi, hello. Hi, hello. Hi, hello. Hi, hello. Hello.
I won't play every part of every song. So that's the intro to hello. Then if you follow the lesson plan, we often do an activity or a game before moving on. And one of the things that I'd like your feedback on is to how much you think or how much you do use games on screens in the classroom, or how much you would want games to be displayed in the classroom, or whether you're always going to prefer playing games face to face, hand to hand. One of the issues that we've really had the last year and a half is because of COVID, we have essentially stopped using flashcards and passing them between hands to a large degree, not completely. And a lot of materials I've seen designed have tried to use flashcards on the screen. I also feel that it's not necessarily desirable to have 2D or 3D animation for every single section of the lesson. And so we imagine that for this one, it will be a song. And the cars, if it will play.
How's the weather? How's the weather? How's the weather today? It's hot, it's hot, it's hot today. How's the weather? How's the weather? How's the weather today? It's cold, it's cold, it's cold today.
Again, I'm not going to play everything. So this is designed to be shown on the screen whilst the teacher is singing with the children, doing the gestures if you use them, and pointing to either the images on the screen or the flashcards in the room. Does anybody think that would be effective, ineffective, better or worse than just the audio?
I have an opinion about that. I think actually not having animations is better, in that when you put an animation in front of kids, they stop dancing, they stop doing anything except for they just watch the animation because it's the most natural thing to do. So yeah, I think this is good the way it is.
Yeah, I think that's definitely, we're very conscious of the fact that screens do attract attention. But for very young learners, we do see the kids copying the actions of the animated characters on the screen. So we've seen like 2-year-olds learning yes, no, and the head movement for that just by copying the 3D animation. Although that was a video that we saw that was shot at home, but the kid independently was just copying the animation. I think it's the home environment and the classroom environment are very different when video is played, but I completely take your point for sure. John, do you have any thoughts on that?
I think it's fine without the 3D. I noticed that too, right? Like, just a lot of the times with the hello song, I don't even put the video up. I just use the audio.
Right.
Half or after introducing it a few times, but
yeah,
I tend to use more audio to keep them away from the TV.
yeah, right, okay, good.
Audio only.
And then, because this is vehicles, we go on to the vehicles.
Can I say something real quick about the last bit?
Everyone, and welcome to Chipperton. Kinka and Pinka, can you say hello?
Hello.
Today, Kinka and Pinka are looking at all the vehicles. What do you see?
Brum, brum. It's a bus.
Yes, Pinka, there are 2 buses.
It's Billy and Betty. Hello, Billy.
Hi, Pinka. Hello, Betty. Hi, Kinka.
What color are they?
Red. Brum, brum.
What else do you see?
It's a plane. It's white.
Well done, Kinka.
Okay, so this is the storytime section, and the audio for that is on the CDs. Obviously, in the classroom, we're encouraging shared reading, pointing, asking the kids to identify parts of the story, and this introduces the structures. How generally do you use the storytime, and do you use the storytime videos from YouTube? John or Tom?
I'll do it once or twice, but if I try to ask them like where's to locate something in the image, and they'll try to poke the TV, and
Yeah,
I always gotta keep them to get away from the TV or to touch it gently. But yeah, so just at first, and also I kind of have to keep pausing it because I think just to run the whole thing, they get kind of confused about what's happening.
right. We do hear feedback from parents that their kids, particularly like the 2 and 3-year-olds, who they would be using, wouldn't be using this material, but that they watch the YouTube channel all the time at home, and because and because they know the material from the classroom, they're excited to watch it at home, and because they watch it at home, it really helps them in the classroom, because I mean it's largely input, but they are getting a lot more exposure to the material. And then we would go on to the vehicle chant.
Car, car, car. Truck, truck, truck. Plane, plane, plane. Boat, boat, boat. Car, truck, plane, boat. Car, truck, plane, boat. And obviously that repeats for the other 4 pieces of vocab. And then there is also the "It's a Car" chant.
It's a, 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 it's a car. It's a truck. It's a plane. It's a boat. It's a tractor. It's a train. It's a bus. It's a helicopter. It's a car. It's a truck. It's a plane. It's a boat. It's a tractor. It's a train. It's a bus. It's a helicopter. It's a, it's a, it's a, it's a, it's a.
So obviously we're introducing the structure there, and then because the structure that we want to introduce after that includes the adjective, that's what we do in the next song. And up to now, this hasn't had a video, so this is a new video, so I'll play a couple of minutes of this.
What is it?
It's a car. It's red.
It's a red car.
Sorry, we do the dialogue before we do the song, and this is new video. We now have 3D video for all of the dialogues for all of the units, and we have a video for every unit with the song, but possibly not for every song.
Beep, beep.
It's a car. It's red.
Beep, beep.
It's a car. It's red.
Beep, beep.
It's a car. It's red. It's a red car.
Honk, honk.
It's a truck. It's orange.
Honk, honk.
It's a truck. It's orange.
Honk, honk.
It's a truck. It's orange. It's an orange truck.
Whoosh, whoosh.
It's a plane. It's white.
Whoosh, whoosh.
It's a plane. It's white.
Whoosh, whoosh.
It's a plane. It's white. It's a white plane.
Once more, I won't play the whole thing. How many of you use the gesture videos on the website, on the YouTube channel, to learn the gestures and then do those in the classroom?
I always do.
You always do, right?
Mm.
Tom, do you know if they do at your school?
Again, I'm not entirely sure what resource they use. They do it, but I'm not entirely sure whether they do it from YouTube or not.
Right.
I have a feeling, based on what was said earlier about advertising, they probably don't use YouTube.
Okay, yeah, the gesture, I mean, we've got gestures for all of the vocab in Happy Valley, and the gesture videos of Catherine doing those gestures, and we've got those online for teachers to learn them as much as anything. But we've got the characters doing those gestures here in these videos, which should help reinforce them. And if they're doing them at home, hopefully they can copy them. And then, so one thing that we thought about doing, which it sounds like the people here probably wouldn't use so much, but on-screen flashcard games. Now, this is a very simple mock-up of the missing game. So I'm going to shout out a number, and I would like you to shout out a vehicle. 3.
Plane.
Shout, John, shout. 5.
Oh, everybody shout. 5. Tractor. Green tractor.
It's a green tractor. 4.
It's a
purple
boat.
1.
It's a red.
It's a red.
3.
It's a white plane.
7.
It's a red bus.
The red bus.
What's missing?
Oh,
It's a white plane.
White plane. Very good. What's missing?
it's a blue train.
It's a blue train. Very good. What's missing?
The purple boat.
It's a purple boat. You're getting quite competitive there. What's missing?
A yellow helicopter.
And red car.
And red car, yeah.
Oh, there we go. So that's just a very, very simple flashcard, what's missing game. The advantage, I think, of doing something like that on screen is it can be very, very quick. And when kids are paying attention to the screen, they do yell out a lot. And there's the competition to, as you were just doing there, actually start doing it very, very quickly. There's the competition to say it loud and quickly, as opposed to grabbing the flashcard and physically, demonstratively losing a game. Does anybody have any thoughts on that?
I think that's good. I think it's also, easier to hide it and not make a mistake, not flash it. Some kids see it and some don't.
Right.
Yeah, I see more.
I think so a game like that.
Lost you there, John.
That wasn't me. So I think that if I have a game like that, I'll put it on the iPad rather than the big screen. So, and then, but would there be something like that with you could touch on the iPad and then?
Yeah, there will be like the Happy Valley Words game that we have. There'll be something similar to that. You can touch on the iPad. Specifically, this one was designed to be on the screen and the kids shouting out to the screen so that nobody's touching anything.
Right. Okay.
And the teacher is just clicking through those screens. Has anybody done anything like that?
Yeah, I have I like a PDF or not PDF, but I've taken photos of the flashcards and kept them in the iPad and do that kind of thing. So.
Interesting. Okay. So then the lesson plan goes through the phonics song, and there are a few different versions of the phonics song. There's this one. With all the gestures. And then there's this one. Which only obviously has the character and the letter. And then we've got the phonics sound song. Which is the laconic laid-back jazz blues version. And so, which brings up the question of choice. How often do you vary the songs, songs and chants that you do in a lesson plan?
Sorry, one more time.
How often do you vary, stray from the lesson plan and do something else, and choose different versions of the same thing? So obviously there you've got, for the first two songs there, it's different animation for the same song. And then this third one is a different song, but it's all basically delivering the same material.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'll pull out the alphabet chart and then sometimes it just, so do the phonics song, but have a different alphabet poster that's got different words, and then kind of match it. And instead of saying alley ant, say airplane or bus or what.
If you were using something like this in the classroom and it's basically designed as a click through, so the teacher really doesn't have to think about what's coming next, you just click and up it comes. Do you think you would want the decision to be able, the ability to be able to choose an alternative on the fly and or program in alternatives before the lesson starts?
I don't think I'd really program new things in.
Right.
Just pass it and
just skip it. Yeah.
Pull something else. Yeah, it depends, on the kids. If they're really sort of they're really engaged in this 3D world, or if they want to kind of settle down and stare at something. But
yeah, that's a very, very good point. I'm pleased that you brought that up. It depends on the kids and their level of engagement, as it always does. Tom, what about in your school? Do you know how much freedom the teachers have to interpret the lesson plans and adapt and introduce other things?
Yeah, there's two tracks that run in the school, and the track that this is used in is very structured. So they would, I think, be sticking fairly closely to an agreed plan,
right?
Because the classes tend to feed into each other,
right?
And if you start kind of jumping around and kind of doing your own thing too much, going off piste, you tend to step on the toes of the next class, or so yeah. I would say there's definitely a kind of more heavily structured approach to this. Yeah,
good to know. Good to know. I mean, you know, we want to basically do as much of the dull work for teachers as we can, so that they can get on and engage with the students. You know, so if click-through lesson plans help, that's a good thing. And then we go into the this is a new song. Well, it's a new animation.
I spy present pen, present pen.
So that's the song version of the minimal pairs plus A, and this is the Chant version.
Pen, pen. Bat, bat. Axe, axe. Pen, bat, axe.
When you're doing the phonics, if you do the phonics, do you follow the lesson plans for the phonics? Do you like to have phonics inside a regular lesson plan, or do you prefer to have it as a separate component?
Inside, it's good.
Right, but in a different book is good rather than having it in the same book.
Oh yeah, because sometimes now I'll do a couple phonics things, couple units, just to, you know, what kids want to do, the kinds of things I do. Sometimes I'll pull out the phonics book and I'll be distracted, but
right.
And I tend to, that's the one thing maybe at first, especially at Happy Valley 1 or 2, I won't do phonics for a couple weeks.
Right.
Just because that seems to need more focus.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Tom, do you know if they use the phonics component at your school?
Yes, they do. Yeah.
And they pretty much just follow the lesson plans.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then it's obviously these would be interspersed with real games in the classroom at the teacher's discretion, but then we have cleanup time. And again, we've left this with no animation so that you can just play the song and do the cleanup. How many textbooks do you know have a reggae song?
Stop and listen, let's clean up, let's clean up, let's clean up. Stop and listen, let's clean up, let's clean up. Put your crayons in your bag, in your bag, in your bag. Put your crayons in your bag, in your bag.
Do you use this every week, John, the cleanup song?
Yeah.
Right.
I even use it with sometimes with the kids that are in elementary school.
Yeah, right.
Because they all, yeah.
Yeah. And then we finish off with the goodbye. So this is a new version of this.
Bye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Bye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Bye, goodbye. Bye, goodbye. Bye, goodbye. Bye, goodbye. Bye. Bye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Bye, goodbye.
There we go. I don't know Tom, if you're picking up on that there, but those sand dunes are modeled after the sand dunes at Bamborough. Also I think it's in level 3, the Bye Goodbye song at the end, it's got some Geordie bloke on the side going, tra. And I'm gonna have to go look now. I've had teachers tell me at expos that their kids are saying, some of their kids have said tra as they leave the classroom, which is wonderful, really. Yeah. So that really is, that's it in a nutshell, really, is what we imagine that the planned lesson part of the digital materials would look like. I have some quite specific questions that I would like to ask everybody, if that's okay. Other than Happy Valley materials, what do you use for kindergarten in a digital form? So whether that's on a screen or on a device.
Digital. So I'll sometimes do some simple songs, videos.
Right. Super simple songs.
Super simple songs.
Right.
But not often.
Right.
I have this one CD from Chris. Chris's name. It's, I think it's called Let's Talk.
Right.
But that's just audio.
So you essentially would supplement with other audio or video.
Yeah.
But you don't really use any other digital products, like
no,
apps
not
or
really. No, because the only thing I do use, but I don't use it in class. Sometimes if the kids are a little early, or if they're waiting for someone else to finish with something, I have the baby bus games on the iPad. Right. Because those are really easy for the kids to do without any assistance.
Right. And Tom, what about at your school? Do the teachers use other resources in the
purely in terms of digital?
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, it's still fairly, in its infancy, the way they integrate it in the classroom. A lot of the resources we use tend to be kind of, old school kind of, physical. Yeah. Like you were saying earlier, things like not necessarily flashcards, but Realia and things like that we have in the room. Yeah. That they interact with. There's a lot of TPR stuff. Yeah. It's not. Yeah, I would say it's fairly in the early stages of really using digital stuff.
Right. Can anybody think of any digital solution that they would like to have, that they would like to be able to use in the kindergarten classes?
I think just the one thing, like when you're doing the chant with the vehicles and the colors, like sometimes that's kind of fast for them. Right. So when you're saying it's a red car, and I think maybe if the color red showed up first and then the car, but that's just being picky. But I think that's like, as soon as you get into Happy Valley 2 and like the first song and the first the gestures you have to do, it's like, wow, that's kind of
a little bit. 8 of them, yeah, and they're quite tricky gestures, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the only other thing too is sometimes I can slow it down. I'll just slow down the video on YouTube, but sometimes the gestures, I mean, you can even see, not Catherine, but the other girl that's doing it, like sometimes she can't get it. And
the shooting the videos with Jen took a very, very long time. There's a lot of editing went on there. Yeah. Yeah, I do them at presentations and stuff. And I think that is something that people get a bit anxious about. To be honest, I don't really think it matters if the kids are not doing the gestures perfectly. If they're doing something, it's good, and they'll get them if they can be bothered. They'll get them later on. I think it does help remember the vocab. But obviously, we want it to be multi-sensory. But particularly, increasingly, we want things to be multimedia. I think it's largely agreed upon by lots of people that the idea of learning personalities being kicked into touch. But we do all have different personalities. But what has been shown to work is multi-sensory and multimedia do improve outcomes according to lots of studies, and essentially Happy Valley's always been that. but bringing in digital brings in more media, and people will react in different ways, and hopefully give them more opportunity for exposure outside of the classroom. If somebody bought all of the teaching materials for all 3 years of Happy Valley, it would cost them, so that'd be the books, the flashcards, the audio, and the DVD. It would cost them 70,000 yen for every single component to use. Do you have all of those components in your schools? Teacher flashcards, student book, workbook, phonics book.
Yeah. Of course, I do, but
yeah. Tom, do you know?
I think so, yeah.
So if you spent, and the DVD workbook, obviously, so if you spent 65 or 70,000 yen on teaching materials for a school, how long would you expect them to last? 5 years? 3 years? 10 years?
I would think 5.
5 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think I feel like it should be a new edition every 5 years or so, if possible.
Yeah, editions generally for publishers are every 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a huge expense to redraw everything. But then you do face the problem of forcing basically your customers to buy new teachers' materials, which is not something that we really want to do. So the advantage of a digital solution would be that we could just change them on the back end without any expense. But it does bring me on to the question of how much do you think you would be willing to pay for a yearly subscription to all digital teaching materials that you could use in a lesson plan format, as we've just seen, with a game, which was
for the student to pay?
No, for the school to pay. So the students would have their own account. The school would have an account. There'd be an LMS which showed the results of the games and the learning, and everything would be available to use prescribed or to adapt. So if you expected your teaching materials to last for 10 years, that's an average of 6,500 to 7,000 yen for the year. If you only expected them to last for 5 and you're paying 64,000, that's basically 13,000 per year.
Yeah. Okay, 10 years is better.
So you'd be prepared to pay 6,500 yen for a yearly subscription, never to have to buy physical materials again?
I think so, but I don't know. I mean, would the physical materials just be gone completely?
No, I'm not planning to get rid of physical materials at all.
Right.
Absolutely not. I think it's best to have a variety. People are going to want to use different things, and tactile stuff's really, really important. And it's really important for people to be in the room face to face without masks as well. And hopefully we'll be able to do that and relax and do that soon. Tom, what about in your school? Do you know, are they usually prepared to buy teachers' materials? Do they spend much money?
Yeah, very much so. I think from the I hate to use the term, but from the business perspective, I think they're the one thing that I really like about the school is they're very willing to invest in those things.
Yeah, good.
And yeah, they do tend to take that view, like you were just discussing, of how far is it going to go? What's the cost per year kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm not really involved with the business side of it.
Right.
So in terms of pricing and what they charge the students and the customer and that kind of thing, I'm not entirely sure, how that would compute. But from on the face of it, from what you've said, I think it wouldn't be that wouldn't be something that they would be overly concerned about if it was an annual fee.
Yeah. Does 10,000 or 12,000 sound a lot too much, John?
So this is per level?
No, that's for the whole lot.
For the whole lot. I think 10 sounds okay. 12 sounds
You're broken. Yeah, you break the
How about 9,999?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Adam, what do you think as a school owner? Adam's gone.
I'm back. Sorry, it was
That's all right.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. So, and we're not talking what we're charging students just for the school.
No, this is a school license for one classroom to use those materials for a year.
Right. So then they would most likely you'd be passing that charge on down to your students, right?
Well, the way that I imagine it is that we'll allow schools to sell on student licenses, and the school will take a percentage of those,
Right.
in the same way that you can buy books at a discount. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, and we might have talked about this before, but digital is often run by a business model called PIP, pretend it's paper, because nobody knows what to do with the pricing, so they base their pricing on the paper equivalent. So if you buy textbooks from a distributor, you basically get a 20% discount off retail price, and you can sell those on to the students and make a 20% margin.
I think if you're, I mean, it depends. It's just important that the students see the value in it, right? So I think you can charge them quite a lot if it's seen as an fully integrated part of the course, which obviously it is in this case.
Yeah.
And if they're able to see that you're following their progress on the LMS and all that kind of thing,
Yeah.
I think you could easily go over 10,000 for the year. Yeah.
I mean, we're very, very hopeful that this will, as you talked about with the engagement of the kids using the dictionary. Obviously, the dictionary, your gamified dictionary, is a lot more sophisticated than this, but we're very hopeful that it will increase engagement and learning with the kids being able to do this at home on their own without any parental intervention.
I mean,
obviously watching videos is fairly passive, but
no, but the kids will dance along. Like, I mean, you've got those 3D animations kind of similar to Pink Fong or whatever, right? And my daughter does that. She dances in front of the TV and sings and stuff like that. And parents are very happy to pay when they see that the kids are using it. If they think the kids are not using it, they can resent it. But if it is something that they're using, then they're really happy to pay quite a bit, actually, according to my research.
Oh yes, absolutely. Well, if you go back to you should listen to Guy Sihi talk later on. He was in the World Family Disney set, and they used to sell it for $1 million yen. Yeah, and they worked really, really
if
well.
you use it, and if you use it, you're very happy with it, and if you don't, then you feel like you wasted your money, right? So that's the key. But link to a course is ideal, isn't it? Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, that's everything I had to show and to ask, really. Does anybody have any questions or points?
It's great stuff. I really I enjoyed that. Thank you. Yeah,
that's very nice to hear. It was it's good fun making videos and songs and stuff, as you know.
Yeah, it is. It could do it forever. Spend all your time on it.
It's the thing. John, any questions or points?
Well, the thing I'd use reading books for all my kids. And like read a book a week. And I thought that if there was a set course of readers, and maybe if there was digital, and then each kid could read the same book every week. So
come along to the Bokoko Library presentation, and you might like what you see. We plan to release 50 Happy Valley readers soon. They're very, very simple, very simple, but come along to the Bokoko presentation if you can, because we've got some exciting stuff going on for digital readers there.
Okay, that's going to be recorded to be able to watch later too.
As well, yeah.
Okay.
You know, John, you're one of the family, mate. I can give you a private demonstration anytime.
Okay.
Tom, any questions or points?
I don't think so. I think my main role, kind of joining this, was just to take notes and then take it back and see what the feedback is when I get back to work.
I'll briefly put my share back on. Those are my coordinates there. Please do let your school know that they can contact me through any of those anytime.
Thank you very much.
Not at all. Always want to hear from users. Very grateful to them for using it, and we'd love to hear how it works and possibly what doesn't work so well. But feedback is always very, very important. Please feel free to take a screenshot of that. And I'll stop that share and I'll stop recording.
And I guess somebody